Vasudevaya Natamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Udirye Nashtaprayashu Madreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, the opulence of the Absolute. Number 20, to show some of his strategies. Krishna is gonna show him. So in the previous verse, Krishna says, "Yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjun, for my opulence is limitless." So Krishna's opulence, everything is unlimited. So Krishna can only show some of his opulences. And he can only tell some of his opulences. Text 20, Krishna says, Ahamatma Gudakesha Sarvabhuta Shayastitaha Ahamadescha Madhyam Cha Bhutana Mandeva Cha. I am the super soul, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. In this verse, Arjuna is addressed as Gudakesh, which means one who has conquered the darkness of sleep. For those who are sleeping in the darkness of ignorance, it's not possible to understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests himself in various ways in the material and spiritual worlds. So those who are in ignorance, they cannot understand Krishna, his position, his activities, and his dealings with devotees. There's no way. Thus, this address by Krishna to Arjuna is significant because Arjuna is above such darkness. The personality of Godhead agrees to describe his various opulences. Krishna first informs Arjuna that he is the soul of the entire cosmic manifestation by dint of his primary expansion. Before the material creation, the Supreme Lord, by his plenary expansion, accepts the Purusha incarnations, and from him everything begins. Therefore, he is Atma, the soul of the Mahatattva, the universal elements. The total material energy is not the cause of the creation. Actually, Mahavishnu enters into the Mahatattva, the total material energy. He is the soul. When Mahavishnu enters into the manifested universes, he again manifests himself as a super soul in each and every entity. We have experienced that the personal body of the living entity exists due to the presence of the spiritual spark. Without the existence of the spiritual spark, the body cannot develop. Similarly, the material manifestations cannot develop unless a supreme soul, Krishna, enters. As stated in Subal Upanishad, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is existing as a super soul in all manifested universes. So the whole universe, not just the whole universe, all the universes, all the energy is there, all the elements are there. When we come to that point in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is explained, even all the souls are there, Jivatmas are there, but unless and until Krishna expands himself and enters as Paramatma in each and every heart of living entity and in each and every atom and the space between each and every atom, there is no activity starts in the universe. The activity starts only when Paramatma, Krishna as Paramatma, enters everywhere. So that is the position of Krishna. Without him, nothing can happen. The three Purusha avatars are described in Srimad Bhagavatam. They are also described in the Narad Panchavatra, one of the Sattva Tantras. The Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests three features as Karanadaksha Vishnu, Garbhadaksha Vishnu, and Kshirodaksha Vishnu. In this material manifestation, the Mahavishnu or Karanadaksha Vishnu is described in the Brahma Samhita. Yah Karanaranavar Jale Bhajati Sma Yoga Nidram. The Supreme Lord Krishna, the cause of all causes, lies down in the cosmic ocean as Mahavishnu. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the beginning of this universe, the maintainer of the universal manifestations and the end of all energy. So he is the beginning. So Mahavishnu, yes, Krishna says he is a super soul, means Krishna's expansion. Mahavishnu is Krishna's expansion. Who is acting as? Because Krishna himself does not get into day-to-day activities of the universe. Now further on, Krishna is explaining his opulences. Text 21. Adyata nam aham Vishnu jyotisham raviranshumam marichir marutamasmi nakshapranam aham shashi. Of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Of lights, I am the radiant sun. Of the Maruts, I am Marichi. And among the stars, I am the moon. So here we have to understand when Krishna says, of lights, I am sun, and of the stars, I am moon. Krishna is not sun or moon. Basically, what he's saying, in a superlative degree, of all the stars which are illuminating in the sky at night, I am moon, because moon illuminates more. It reflects more light than any of the stars. Of all kinds of lights, I am the radiant sun, because there are so many lights in the whole atmosphere. But the sun gives out so much of light, much more light than anything else. So he is talking about in a superlative degree, that I'm the best, basically. Purport. There are 12 Adityas, of which Krishna is the principal. Krishna or Vishnu. Among all the luminaries shining in the sky, the sun is a chief, and in the Brahma Samhita, the sun is accepted as a glowing eye of the Supreme Lord. There are 50 varieties of wind blowing in space, and of these winds, the controlling deity, Marich, represents Krishna. Among the stars, the moon is most prominent at night, and thus the moon represents Krishna. So moon represents Krishna. Moon is not Krishna. So Krishna is explaining his vibhutis, his opulences, not himself. It appears from this verse that moon is one of the stars. Therefore, the stars that twinkle in the sky also reflect the light of the sun. The theory that there are many suns within the universe is not accepted by Vedic literature. The sun is one, and as by the reflection of the sun, the moon illuminates, so also do the stars. Since Bhagavad Gita indicates herein that the moon is one of the stars, the twinkling stars are not suns but are similar to the moon. So nakshatra means the stars. So basically all the stars that we see at night and that we don't see at night, because there's so many we cannot see, they are basically the planets inhabited by different demigods, and they have the people living there. Inhabitants of those planets. Moon is it gives out, or it reflects most light. Text 22. Vedanam sam vedu asmi, devanam asmi vasvaha, indriyanam manaschasmi, bhutanam asmi chetanam. I am the Samveda. Of the demigods, I am Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses, I am the mind. And in living beings, I am the living force, the consciousness. The difference between matter and spirit is that matter has no consciousness, like the living entity. Therefore, this consciousness is supreme and eternal. Consciousness cannot be produced by a combination of matter. So, in the living beings, Krishna says, I am the living force. I'm the Chetna, I'm the consciousness. Means without consciousness, this whole body that we have, it's of no use, no value. That's why when we die, you burn it or you bury it do something to the body, just take it away. It has no value without the living force, consciousness. So Krishna is saying, in this body, I am the living force because that is the most important. Text 23. Rudranam Shankarashchasmi Vittesho Yaksha Rakshasam Vasunam Pavakaschasmi Meru Shikharinam Aham. Of all the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Of the Yakshas and Rakshas, I am the Lord of Wealth, Kuvera. Of the Vasus, I am fire, Agni, and of mountains, I am Meru. So here, when Krishna says, of all the Rudras, the 12 Rudras, I am Shiva, that doesn't mean Shivji is Krishna himself. It just is best of all the Rudras. And otherwise, we can say, oh, Meru mountain is Krishna. Because he says, I'm of all the mountains, I am Meru. But it's in a superlative degree, he's speaking. There are 11 Rudras, oh, I'm sorry, not 12, 11 Rudras, of whom Shankar, Lord Shiva, is predominant. He is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord in charge of the mode of ignorance in the universe. The leader of the Yakshas and Rakshas is Kuvera, the master treasurer of the demigods, and he is a representation of the Supreme Lord. Meru is a mountain famed for its rich natural resources. Text 24. Purodhasam cha mukhyam maham vidhi partha brihaspatim senanin nam aham skandha sarasamasmi sagaraha. Of priests, O Arjun, know me to be the chief Brihaspati. Of generals, I am Kartikeya. And of bodies of water, I am the ocean. So next time we go to an ocean, of course, for in Delhi, so Krishna said, of all those, ocean is not Krishna, but it's in superlative degree. It's the biggest body of water. So that is one of the vibhutis of Krishna. Indra is the chief demigod of the heavenly planets and is known as the king of the heavens. The planet on which he reigns is called Indraloka. Brihaspati is Indra's priest, and Brihaspati is the chief of all priests. And as Indra is the chief of all kings, namely Skanda or Kartikeya, the son of Parvati and Lord Shiva, is the chief of all military commanders. And of all bodies of ocean, all bodies of water, the ocean is the greatest. These representations of Krishna only give hints of his greatness. You can just try to understand his greatness. Himalaya. Of all the great sages, I am Bhrigu. Of vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy names, Japa. And of immovable things, I am the Himalayas. So many times people say, where did Krishna talk about Japa? Because in ISKCON, we stress so much on chanting. So here Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita, of all the sacrifices, I am the chanting. Yajnanam jap yajyo asmi. So this is the best yajna. Even towards the end of the Upper Yoga, Krishna had declared that. So we should do this yajna properly because we are pleasing Krishna by our chanting, by doing this yajna. And then Krishna says, of immovable things, I'm the Himalayas. Previous verse, he said, of all the mountains, I'm Meru. So means the mountains could fly. Actually, they used to fly. They used to fly and land, and wherever they would land, they would kill so many people or destroy so many houses and villages. So Indra, it's mentioned in Bhagavatam, Indra cut off their wings by his Vajra. So he didn't want so much of destruction. Stopped flying. And also Indra, what he did with his Vajra, because one incident was one mountain was growing too tall. The two mountains started competing with each other somehow, and they were getting taller and taller. I'll try to find that story. So Indra got angry at both of them. He said, "What is this nonsense? Do your service. Don't do all this competition or playing around." So he not only cut off the wings of the mountains, he also levels the top part of the mountains, the summit of mountains. He levels them with his Vajra. Actually, what had happened in New Vrindavan, when devotees got such a big piece of land, so they wanted to do some cultivation of crops. So they went to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, because in that land there were quite a few hills, not mountains, but hills, small hills. So they went to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, we want to do cultivation, but for cultivation we have to level the crowns or the summit of these hills. And Prabhupada, it's a recording of Prabhupada, or in the conversation we can read that. Prabhupada said, "No, you don't have to, because Indra has already done that by his Vajras. He always levels or flattens the summit of the mountains or the hills." And Prabhupada said that's mentioned in Bhagavatam. So the devotees, when they started going there, and then they saw, yes, everything was flat. So Prabhupada had so much of faith in Bhagavatam, so much of faith in scriptures. So this is what we have to learn from scriptures. And also when Krishna says of immovable things, I am the Himalayas, means the mountains must movable. Of all the immovable, he is Himalayas. And for the mountains, he said, I'm the Meru. So they used to move, they used to fly around, but not anymore. Brahma, the first living creature within the universe, created several sons for the propagation of various kinds of species. Among these sons, Bhrigu is the most powerful sage. Of all the transcendental vibrations, the Om Omkara represents Krishna. Of all sacrifices, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, is the purest representation of Krishna. Sometimes animal sacrifices are recommended, but in the sacrifice of Hare Krishna, there is no question of violence. It's the simplest and the purest. Whatever is sublime in the world is a representation of Krishna. Therefore, the Himalayas, the greatest mountains in the world, also represent him. The mountain named Meru was mentioned in the previous verse, but Meru is sometimes movable, whereas the Himalayas are never movable. Thus, the Himalayas are greater than Meru. That's Prabhupada's way of putting it. But both represent Krishna. Text 26. Ashwattha sarva vrikshanam devarshinam chanarada gandharvanam chitraratha siddhanam kapilo munihi. Of all the trees, I am the banyan tree. So that's why banyan tree is worshipable. And of the sages, I am the demigods. Of the sages among the demigods, I am Narad. Of the Gandharvas, I am Chitrarath. And among perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila. So I'm going to put cable and I have to remove this headphones. So the banyan tree, Ashwatha, is one of the highest and most beautiful trees, and people in India often worship it as one of their daily morning rituals. Amongst the demigods, they also worship
Probably
Narad, who is considered the
sound
greatest
has reduced
devotee
a
by
lot.
others. Thus, he is a representation of Krishna as a devotee. The Gandharva planet is filled with the entities who sing beautifully, and among them the best singer
Prabhuji, Hare
is
Krishna.
Chitrarath. Amongst our perfect living entities, Kapila, the son of Devhuti, is a representative of Krishna. He is considered an incarnation of Krishna. He's a avatar, actually. And his
Hare
philosophy
Krishna,
is just
Prabhuji.
as special.
Hare
Many of
Krishna.
Ashwakapila became. Can you hear me?
Prabhuji, can you speak in a microphone? Uh, because sound is not good. Very low
I know
volume.
I had to take off my headphones because of charging. Now is it better?
Ah, yes, 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 Prabhu.
Okay, I'll turn off the video so because I'm going to be
Yeah,
closer to the
yeah.
text 27. उच्चैश्रव समश्वानां विद्धि मां मृतोद्भवम् ऐरावतं गजेन्द्राणां नराणां च नराधिपम्. Of horses, know me to be Uchashrava, produced during the churning of the ocean for nectar. Of lordly elephants, I am Eravat, and among men, I am the monarch, means I am the king. The devotee demigods and the demons, asuras, once took part in churning the sea. For this churning, nectar and poison, from this churning, nectar and poison were produced, and Lord Shiva drank the poison. From the nectar were produced many entities, of which there was a horse named Uchchaishrava. Another animal produced from the nectar was an elephant named Aravat. Because these two animals were produced from the nectar, they have special significance and they are representatives of Krishna. So this uh, incident of churning of the ocean to produce the Amrit, nectar, is very, very important pastime. And it's in it's given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna, so many incarnations in this pastime to help in this pastime. In fact, just to let you know, so from this churning of ocean, moon also came about. Lakshmi ji also came from the churning of ocean. Of course, Lakshmi ji is always a consort of Vishnu, but as part of Leela, she came from that ocean when the ocean was being churned. That is why, and moon, because gopis, gopis are gopis. Whenever they have some problem with Krishna, or whenever Krishna teases them, whenever they have to say something, they say something. Of course, that is philosophically true. But this is to express their feeling. So what happens? Because the night of full moon, Krishna performs this Ras Leela with the gopis. So, but the gopis, the worst part of Ras Leela is when the moon sets and Krishna has to leave. When the sun is about to rise, moon is about to set, and Krishna has to leave. So that is the worst part of that pastime for the gopis. So moon is about to set in the morning, and gopis, how they address the now it's time for him to go. And moon, they say, Moon, why won't you do all this? Because you are brother of poison, you're brother of wish. You both are born at the same time from the same person. So ocean wish, and moon also came from ocean. So the gopis are gopis, so they can chastise anybody, of course. So the moon came from the ocean. So that's a beautiful pastime. Whenever uh, part of Bhagavad, amongst Krishna is a maintainer of the, and the kings who are appointed on account of their godly qualifications are maintainers of their kingdoms. Kings like Maharaj Yudhishthir, Maharaj Parikshit, and Lord Ram were all highly rightful. In Vedic literature, the king is considered to be the representative of God. In this age, however, with the corruption of the principles of religion, monarchy decayed and is now finally abolished. It is to be understood that in the past, however, people were more happy under righteous kings. So, not just the king, whoever is the leader of a country, he also is a representative of Krishna. In fact, Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami, they were working under Nawab Hussain Shah. So Nawab Hussain Shah, sing voice is not okay. I'll try to put up, no, it will be there. So Nawab Hussain Shah was the king, and Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami were serving under him. Although Nawab Hussain Shah was a Yavan, was a meat eater, he was killing so many Hindus, he had killed so many Brahmins, he had broken so many temples, all different things he had done. But Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, understanding that the king is a representative of Krishna, they would still give full respect to Nawab Hussain Shah. That was their level of consciousness. We would try to find faults with him, but they didn't. Text 28. Ayudhanam aham vajram dhenunam asmi kamd prajanashchasmi kandarpaha sarpanam asmi vasuki. Of weapons I am the thunderbolt, among cows I am the surabhi. Of causes for procreation I am Kandarpa, the god of love, and of serpents I am Vasuki. The thunderbolt, indeed a mighty weapon, represents Krishna's power. In Krishna Loka, in the spiritual sky, there are cows which can be milked at any time, and they give as much milk as one likes. Of course, such cows do not exist in this material world, but there is mention of them in Krishna Loka. The Lord keeps many such cows, which are called Surabhi. It is stated that the Lord is engaged in herding the Surabhi cows. Kandarpa is a sex desire for presenting good sons. Therefore, Kandarpa is a representative of Krishna. Sometimes the sex is engaged in only for sense gratification. Such sex does not represent Krishna. But sex for generation of good children is called Kandarpa and represents Krishna. Krishna says, second or third chapter.
Hare Krishna.
Kamosmi Bharatrishu. Yes, Prabhuji, Haribo. Can you hear?
The voice has gone very low for me, at least. I don't know for others.
Radha Prabhu said now it's better.
Yes, Prabhu, it is very much better for me now.
It's better, Prabhuji. Can hear you.
So
yes, Prabhuji, you are audible.
Okay. So I'm going to mute you all again. Text 29. Ananta chasmi naganam varuno yachamaham pitrinam chasmi yamha sayamaham. Of the many hooded Nagas, I am Ananta. And among the aquatics, I am the demigod Varuna. Of departed ancestors, I am Aryama. And among the dispensers of law, I am Yama, the lord of death. So among the many hooded Naga serpents, Ananta is the greatest, as is the demigod Varuna among the aquatics. They both represent Krishna. So previously Krishna says, of all the serpents, I am Vasuki, but of all the Nag, I am Ananta. So they are different. Nag means many hooded Naga serpents. There is also a planet of Pitas, ancestors, presided over by Aryama, who represents Krishna. There are many living entities who give punishment to the miscreants, and among them Yama, Yamaraj, is a chief. Yam is situated in a planet near this earthly planet. After death, those who are very sinful are taken there, and Yam arranges different kinds of punishments for them. So this is although Yamraj is a Mahajan at the same time, but this is a service to give punishment to all the sinful people. But there is a beautiful story. Yamraj is son of sun god, and his sister is Kalindi, or means Kal means Yam, or Indi. Kalindi means sister of Yamaraj, or her another name is Yami because she's sister of Yamaraj. So she is sister of Yamaraj. So once there was this festival. I'm forgetting. Either it was Rakhi or it was Bhai Dooj. One of those two festivals. So Yamaraj was coming to get his Rakhi tied by Yamuna, his sister. And so Yamuna asked him for a boon. And he said, okay, what do you want? She said, give me a boon that anybody who worships me never has to see your planet again. So Yamraji gave her this boon. So anybody who takes bath in Yamuna, especially in Mathura, there's a place called Vishram Ghat where the two major things happened. Once when Lord Varahadev was bringing back earth, after putting earth at the right place, he rested at Vishram, at Ghat, which is called Vishram Ghat now. Also, Krishna and Balram, after killing Kansa and after killing Kuvalyapida, elephant, and I think after killing Kansa also, they came into bath over there and they also rested there. So it's called Vishram Ghat, means they rested there. So there is a temple of Yamraj and Yamanaji also, personification of Yamanaji. So it is said that one who takes bath in Yamanaji and takes darshan of Yamraji at Vishram Ghat, he never has to go to the Yam Loka to take darshan of Yamraji ever again. So maybe once after the cold is over, you all can go to Mathura and take darshan of Yamraji and take bath in Vishram Ghat.
Haribo.
Very good. So, well, we can stop here because there are so many other opulences of Krishna is mentioning in chapter 10. See, anybody has any question or comment?
Yes, Prabhuji, I have one question. You said of sounds I am Om, and of chanting I am chanting of Hare Krishna. So I don't find any difference between them.
Chanting is not just making sound. Chanting is praying to Krishna. Chanting is our connection with Krishna, taking the names of Krishna. See, name of Krishna is Krishna himself. Nam namino abhinatvam. Sound is representative. Om is representative of Krishna. Name is non-different from Krishna. So that's the difference.
So can we say which one is powerful? Because it's very tempting to see like all the sadhus sitting and saying Om, you know, and when we do little Om, it gives us high very, very quickly.
Om, when we chant, and if we chant properly, it can make us very peaceful. But chanting will make us blissful if you chant properly. Chanting is non-different from Krishna, means we are directly associating with Krishna. We cannot perceive of it because of the, like Krishna said, no, you are Gudakesh, that's why I'm going to give you this knowledge. So we are so much of an ignorance, we cannot perceive of him. But this is our fault, our shortcoming. There's no intention of Krishna. So that's why Om is very powerful. Chanting of Om is very powerful. But the chanting of Harinam is much more beneficial and powerful.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhuji, one more thing. Like you said, there is only one sun as per Vedic literature. Now,
In a
science,
universe.
in a universe.
Yeah.
So now science says like there are so many stars which are more powerful than our sun. So are they in different universe? Material
No.
universe?
Scientists cannot go beyond this universe. Even of this universe, they cannot find out the whole thing. Okay, what happens is this Mount Meru that is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, we just read. When we go see the description of universe in Srimad Bhagavatam, so we'll see this Mount Meru is actually like a pivot of the whole universe. It's so tall and it is made of solid gold. So all the planets, they revolve around this Mount Meru. And as I said, it's made of solid gold. So the sun, when it revolves around Mount Meru, the reflection of sun is so powerful. So sometimes, because it's reflecting off of that gold, Mount Meru. So that sometimes that reflection looks more powerful than sun. That's why sometimes scientists get confused that there is something more powerful than sun. So this is that universe, according to Bhagavatam, that is going to be made a model of and given depiction in that temple of Vedic Planetarium, Mayapur. Of course, I just told you just in short, it's huge description is given of the whole universe, which is not found in any scientific literature.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, the Meru mountain can still fly and the Himalayas can't fly right now.
Yeah, for the immovables, yes, Himalayas. So Himalayas don't fly.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, actually I missed the Vrindavan pastime of Prabhupada due to signal. So, Prabhuji, can you please?
Oh, that was in New Vrindavan. In New Vrindavan in America, we have a huge piece of land. It's about like 3,000 acres of land. And there are so many hills in that land. So the devotees wanted to do some agriculture, cultivation of crops over there. So they went to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, we want to do some agriculture cultivation, and so for that we have to level the land, level the hills a little. Prabhupada said, you don't have to, because Indra by his Vajra, he's already smashing the summits of all the hills. So the land will be leveled up there. So when they went up there, it was already leveled by Indra. Because what had happened in one past time, two mountains, they got in competition with each other. Who's taller? I'm taller, and the other said I'm taller. So they all started increasing their height. So Indra got angry. He said, "What is this nonsense going on?" So he smashed both of them. He cut off their summits. He just leveled the summits. He said, "You don't grow beyond this point." See, Indra is not just after Apsaras. He has to do some other serious businesses also. Is that okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, Mount Meru still exists? I mean,
That's a pivot of the whole universe. Around it, all the planets are revolving around Mount Meru. Actually,
Prabhuji, it's part of India, or I mean, it's some
part of the whole universe.
Maybe, I
Not
mean,
just part of
exist on Earth or somewhere in the universe?
in the universe.
Prabhuji, I heard that actually the sun is revolving around Mount Meru, and everything is, and planets are revolving around sun.
Sun is revolving around Mount Meru, and planets are revolving around Sun. So planets are also revolving around Mount Meru.
Yeah.
Orbit is different,
Yes.
and just like Moon is revolving around Earth,
Mm.
and Earth is revolving around Sun, so Moon is also revolving around Sun in a different way.
Yes.
It's very complicated. The whole universe is very complicated.
Thank you so much for clarifying on the Meru part, Prabhuji. When I read it alone, in fact, at that point in time, I had this notion Meru is Mount Everest. By ignorance, I didn't ask anybody. So thank you so much for clarifying it in so much detail. Thank you so much for that. I thought because that's the tallest peak, so probably it's mentioned here, and I didn't even bother to kind of check with anybody. Thank you so much.
Oh, this is only Earth. Everest is on Earth. Mount Meru is in the whole universe we are talking.
And somehow, in fact, so thank you so much for clarifying, Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhuji. So you all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Jai Shri
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.